So this lesson is about finding the volume of a cone. So it's very similar to finding the volume of the other 3D objects you've been doing so far. There is a formula for it, which we're going to look at. And you basically need to be able to substitute into the formula and evaluate it on your calculator or without your calculator, depending on the question, and have the right units. And we might go on and look at finding the volume of a composite shape as well, in which is two shapes stuck together. So that's a keyword. Composite means two or more things put together. Cone, you're sort of familiar with a cone. If you imagine an ice cream cone, it has a circle on the bottom, or a traffic cone, and pi and radius you're familiar with already. Can we copy this slide, please, for the volume of a cone example? So the formula is given to you in the exam. It's given to you whenever you do any test. And again, we're using this notation where we're using the big V, capital V for volume, and then the little suffix of a C for cone. And the volume of a cone is given by 1/3 pi r squared h. So you'll remember me saying from the last one that people sometimes copy the formula wrong. So it's really important to pay careful attention. So this one's 1/3, whereas the sphere was 4/3. And this one has r squared, whereas the sphere had r cubed. So you have to make sure that you are very careful when you're writing them down. So the radius is the radius of the circle. It's on the bottom of the cone, and h is the perpendicular height of the cone. So the height from the pointy bit at the end right the way to the center of the circle at the end. That's the perpendicular height. So if you had to calculate the volume of this cone to two significant figures, you can see we've been told the height is 23 and we've been told the diameter is 15. So we write down our formula carefully. Our formula, we need the radius and we need the height. So the radius is going to be 7.5 because we need to half the 15. And the height is going to be 23. Okay, bear in mind sometimes you might just be given the radius, in which case obviously you wouldn't have to half it. We're halving it in this example because we've been told the diameter. So you need to be really good at checking whether you've been given radius or diameter. So we pop all that into our formula to show we know how to substitute in, and then we evaluate it on the calculator. So here I go. So 1/3, I'm typing in 1 divided by 3 for 1/3, and then I press equals. So you can see the third came up on the calculator there. Times it by pi, times it by 7.5 squared, times it by 23, and then press equals. And I get 1354.8. And then to two significant figures, that's going to be 1400. And this one's going to be in meters cubed because the dimensions were in meters here. Okay. Next example then. So again, can you copy this one down? So sometimes cones are used as part of a composite shape. So this one here, we've got a cone with a hemisphere on top. So I thought it would be good for you to have an example like this in your jotters so that you can look back if you get some tricky ones like this out of the textbook. So the story is that this is a large metal shape used to advertise an ice cream shop. And we've defined the volume of metal used to make the shape. So the shape is made up of a cone on the bottom and a hemisphere on top. So you can see I've written down here, the volume of the cone, C for cone, is 1/3 pi r squared h. Okay, so you can look up that formula every time you need to use it. And then I've looked and said, right, well, if I look at the cone, the height of the cone is 42, so h is going to be 42. The diameter of the cone is 36, so I need to half that to get the radius, so the radius is 18. So I've substituted the 18 and the 42 into my formula, and then I've worked it out here. Let me see if I can, so I'll show you the first part of me working it out. So again, 1 divided by 3, times it by pi, times it by 18 squared, times it by 42. Oh, I thought I could pause this, but it's not looking too good. Okay, so I've gone on and done the second calculation. The second calculation is for the hemisphere that's on top. So it's a sphere divided by 2. So look up the formula for the sphere, and then remember you have to divide it by 2 for a hemisphere. The formula for the sphere requires the radius. The radius of the sphere is going to be the same as the radius of the cone, because the radius of a sphere goes from the center to anywhere on the edge. So sometimes you can be shown the radius going from there up to there. Sometimes you can be shown it going from there across to there. So sometimes a lot of people tend to get caught out by that. So pay attention for that, for those if you're getting stuck on examples. So the radius of the sphere is 18 as well. So I've typed in 4/3 pi times 18 cubed divided by 2, and I worked out that for the volume of the hemisphere. And then I could probably just move this up a little bit so you can see. Move that one over as well. And then I've added the two together. I'm just going to play the calculation again. In fact, I'll just fast forward over that bit. So that's me doing the sphere now. So 4/3 pi times 18 cubed divided by 2. So then I've kept that big long answer on the calculator, 12214, blah, 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 and I've just typed plus, and then the answer I got from the first bit, which I wrote down, 14250.2. Okay, so that maintains your accuracy if you keep the answer on the calculator and just press plus. And you can see my final answer then is 26,465 whenever I added them together, and that's in centimeters cubed, that one. Okay, so to practice your cone work, I would like you to try in the same textbook, the 4+ textbook, page 128, questions 7 to 13 only, 7 to 13.